5, 4, 3. And welcome to the Sebs Crew Stoop Podcast with your hosts, Andrew from Bay Ridge, Billy Porkchop Masviello, and David Jiggy Viggy Viglione.
All right, let me get a little introduction here for Danny. We got Danny Christensen, the first ballot Iron Masters Black and Yellow Hall of Famer, drafted in the 4th round, 108th overall pick. Some said he should have stayed with our Masters Black and Yellow and gave up the Major League contract, but he chose otherwise. He was also suspended August 15, 2009. Pitcher of the Week in the minor leagues, June 16, 2008. Also mid-season All-Star, 2008. Came back in about 2000, I want to say, when did you come back to our Masters?
2010, 11 maybe?
2010, 11.
Like
came back for a championship in which we won. Came out there, performed as a veteran player, more defensive than offensive. He once changed the softball rules, and he was in the forefront of the Balco investigation for the home runs he was hitting. But he was found not to have used performance-enhancing steroids during softball, and that's it. And Lou changed the rules because of this man right here, Daniel Christensen. All right.
You know what the actual telling on that investigation was? Everyone knew that if Danny had done steroids, he wouldn't be playing softball with us at all.
Well, I don't know. He was still playing softball.
Much that simple.
He was playing softball with us as the 108th overall pick. It probably wasn't the best move of all time. I'm not going to say.
If I was on steroids, I would have probably been the 8th pick.
It's true. It's true.
Yo, wait, Dave. How many teams are in this league? 108 divided by 4. There's an odd number of teams. Is that what just happened here? What kind of divisions?
I think everyone gets a few picks per round.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I just needed the math to add up. I'm a logical kind of guy.
You got to call Mikey for math. You know, he's the Asian guy. You got to call him up.
No, first agent at math of all time.
It's a shame, right?
He's in all the E classes.
He is good. He is good at making balloons, though.
He's a big balloon guy, and he's actually good at it. I'm going to definitely give him respect. Hey, shout out to Three Amigos Balloons.
Yes.
Three Amigos Balloons. Check them out on Instagram. Great company for a party or anything like that. Mikey Trinos is the presidente of the company, and he does a great job, that kid. Great job.
And if you want to buy like a blow-up doll, you don't have to go through that really awkward moment when you go into a sex store, and there's like 2 or 3 people in there, and you're kind of just standing at the counter, and you're like, I'll take that rubber thing over there on the left side. And the guy at the counter's like, what'd you say? He was like, the rubber thing over there on the left side. What did you say? The fucking blow-up doll, asshole. I'm going to fuck a rubber doll. Mikey can help with that. He can make you a blow-up doll out of balloons so you never have to go through that. And knowing the things that Mikey has done, he's not going to judge you. So, ladies and gentlemen, Amigos Balloons. Check them out on Facebook, Instagram, Hoo-Ha, Dog Rap, all those fucking websites. Check it out.
Do you think Mikey has had sex with a doll?
What do you mean a doll?
I'm going to say no.
Specify doll.
Danny's going
Specify
no.
Doll.
A specified doll. Okay, I'm going to say...
I've seen some of the characters he does,
no on that.
but I'm still going no.
I'm going to actually say he has messed with a sexual doll.
Crotch. You ever think he's rubbed a balloon face on his crotch? Not full-on sex.
Wait, you're talking about like one of the balloons he makes?
6th grade dry humping thing.
Like an Elsa balloon?
I don't know. I think he makes balloons that look like people too.
All right. I mean, I would assume he's done that. You know, I don't judge him. It is what it is. You know, sometimes you get lonely and you got the balloon sitting there looking at you. You gotta do what you gotta do. You got a few Jamesons, right? You gotta do it.
I don't think he's.
There's porn. I mean, if anything, he'd probably go to porn rather than do that. I would think. You know, just hypothetically, I'm not saying he's been in that situation, but since we're talking about this topic, I think we go to porn rather than doing the balloon thing.
Right.
You're a Pornhub guy?
Listen, I don't think there is not one. I don't think there is not one balloon in his inventory that can hashtag me too. Not one.
Fair enough.
Really quickly, I just want to touch on something I thought about the other day. You guys are all familiar with the hashtag me too, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, being the age that we are, prior to that little sign being a hashtag, what was that known as on the phone?
Pound.
That was pound.
Pound
so
me
can you
too.
say that?
That's good. Pound me too.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's
you
great.
realize what they're doing? They kind of dropped the ball on that, right?
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't think of that. You really just blew me away with that one.
The pound me too movement. You'll be thinking about that all week.
I'm actually
You're gonna be seeing
I am gonna use that so much now. I'm gonna bring that up everywhere I go. That was very nicely done.
Oh man.
So
Alright,
Danny, let me ask.
So just
Hold on, I'm gonna ask
myself
Danny. Growing up in the Bay Ridge Sunset area, what's your positives of growing up around here? Because when you bring up, I've seen documentaries on people like Chris Mullen, who went, played professional, this and that. He kind of knocks the neighborhood and says it kind of brought him down because he was a full-fledged alcoholic because of the neighborhood. That's what he gives on the neighborhood. I don't like that he does that.
We started pretty early in the Green Owl on 58th Street with Brendan McDonough.
Well, good old Brendan McDonough.
I should say. But, no, I loved it, man. Growing up in Bay Ridge, Sunset. I mostly hang out in Bay Ridge, so I didn't hang out in Sunset Park too much. And then once I started playing travel baseball, I was never around to hang out much at all after that.
I'm the same way. When I played, I realized it kept me. They would tell me stories like Billy and them, and I'd be like, "Fuck, I missed it." But they did crazy shit that.
All the Jungle Juice parties I missed on Galston Avenue over there.
Ah, those were good parties. The
Oh
Jungle
my
Juice.
God.
Oof.
And that was
gotta
before
remember
social media. So it was like.
That was beeper days.
Yeah, I had to hear about it on like a phone call that I talked to somebody when I was in the Midwest or something.
That's the worst.
Dan, what was your least favorite city to travel to and play in? I think they were actually serving in that diner.
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible. Everything, all the way around. Yeah, somebody like, hey, can I get some good Italian? They're like, there's an Olive Garden like 2 miles down the road.
When you hear that, you know you're in trouble.
Yeah. So you don't ask that question.
What affiliate is that?
That when I played them, they were the Texas Rangers, but they signed 3-4 year contracts, and sometimes they switch around. From what I understand, though, they built a brand new stadium there, and it's really nice.
In Clinton?
Yeah, but when I played there, it was like one of the oldest stadiums in minor league baseball, like behind the home team that I played for in that league, the Burlington Bees, which was like the oldest field in minor league baseball. We had a trailer as a press box up in the now you go to Burlington, they got a beautiful field, a water park, a casino. Or
Really?
It's like this was being built my last year there.
That hurts.
But Clinton, Iowa, by far, worst place to play. Obviously, the playing surfaces were always beautiful. They have great grounds crews and they got the money to put into the playing surface. But when it came to the dugout, the locker room,
And the town itself.
the town, everything, the hotel was horrible. Motel 6 that left the light off.
Really?
So like you got your schedule at the beginning of the year. You're not really so much looking at what teams you're going to play for competition. You're looking at what shithole you're going to have to go visit, right?
You're only there. You're there for 3 days. You're on the field most of the day, so there's not much exploring you do. You don't, especially in Clinton, and that's A-ball. So most of the guys are a lot younger in that league too. So there's not much.
That's full season.
That's short season.
No,
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's low A. That's full season.
Gotcha.
The first full season that you can play.
How many games is full season today?
140 games.
100. Holy shit.
They play 70 and 70, and you're at the All-Star break. The standings go back to 0.
So it's 70 games.
So you have a first half winner, a second half winner that go to the.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Still a lot of teams, man.
And then second half, there's a lot of changes. It's not the same team you're gonna play in the first half. There's people that got hurt. There's people that moved up. There's people that moved down.
That's crazy. So you're never really playing the same guys, give or take.
No, for the most part, you're playing a core group of guys. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But the teams don't even give a shit about the minors, right? It's not about winning.
Yeah, the minor league teams are set up so like 5 to 7 players on the team are playing every day until they're ready to go to the big leagues.
It's revolved around bringing
until
those
you
guys.
get to Double A, everyone is ready to go.
Waiting.
Most of those guys can play in the big leagues.
I always say like AAA, you're just basically waiting for an injury.
Right.
You're waiting for somebody to fucking die.
Most guys in AAA have big league time already. They were up and down on one of those guys.
Now, let me ask you: do you know what it's like for the guy who was the stud starting shortstop for the Yankees in AAA in 1997? Like, does he just give up on his life?
Well, we could look at an even closer one for us, Eric Duncan, that we played against a little bit.
Okay.
He gets drafted in the first round for the what was it? I guess he was he a first round? Yeah, he was a first round pick to the Yankees, the same as a third baseman. The same year they signed Alex Rodriguez, so it was like
you're done.
No matter how good he did,
you're never getting it.
Yeah, and then if you do well, they still don't want to really get rid of you.
Because they wasted that pick on you, so you're their prospect.
Yeah, and they put $1 million into you, and I couldn't. He was good.
That's a lost cause. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Oof.
You just gotta hope that you get thrown into a trade package at some point.
Right.
I mean, that's the goal. You got to be trade bait. I mean, that's your goal when you're in the minors. You're praying to get traded because you're never gonna. Even if Alex Rodriguez started to suck, it would take them 10 years to move him from the lineup. He's never getting out of it.
Well, that actually happened. Remember, in like the middle of the season, he's like, "I'm gonna retire, but they're still gonna pay me, and then I'm gonna be on the team, but I'm not gonna be on the team."
And then
you're gonna watch me
you're
gonna watch me on TV just as much as you guys are.
Exactly. And then I remember in the playoffs, Girardi got ridiculed for lowering him in the lineup. The guy was like 0 for 75. Bro, you lower that guy or take him out of the lineup. I don't care who he is.
Man. Oh.
I'm gonna bring it back here for Danny. I got a question for him about playing for the 68th precinct back in the day. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Prestige
Printing.
Prestige Printing was your team back in the day. Was you? Your brother played. Rob played on it.
Rob might have played on
and
that
Shane,
team.
right?
Shane. We had Anthony Acevedo.
Anthony Acevedo was a big one too. Did you have Anton?
We had Anton Zolotov.
Anton Zolotov.
He was amazing.
He was good. He went to Fort Hamilton, that kid. I played with him.
He was good.
Yeah, he was a good ball player.
His brother was Kirill.
Gangster, right?
I don't know about all that.
I always wonder how those guys are doing.
I haven't spoken to him forever, that
Really
guy.
good question. Listen, if we go into the social media world, we could find those motherfuckers. I'm telling you right now.
Isn't it weird when you can't find them?
Here's what you do. You tell your girl, you have somebody plant a seed that you're gay, you're cheating on your wife with Kirill Zolotov, she'll find them. The FBI should just hire ex-wives. Never mind hiring people out of college.
Probably would work right there. I'm actually going to bring up a quick thing. Last week, we were supposed to have Danny on. He didn't make it. This is for the viewers so they know what went on last week, how hardcore we get it.
I don't think they're viewers, Dave. I think they're listeners.
Or listeners. You're right, listeners. I guess we don't have viewers yet. But
we can edit that out.
We can edit that out. No, we're not on live yet. I thought about that. We got to figure out how to go live at one point. Like do a live show one day. Let people call in.
Well, Skype has a video button.
Q&A, a little Q&A.
Yeah, Q&A would be nice. That'd be awesome. Anyway, as I was saying, so last week we were having a good podcast, guys, again. And I'm sitting here drinking, and I get drunk. I get really drunk right at this table right here. Then I get wrecked. So they're talking, and they don't even notice I'm fucking gone. But I had to piss. No, I'm sorry, I didn't have to piss. I pissed in the fucking bottle. I finished one of these. I pissed in the bottle, and then I had to throw up. So I go run in the bathroom. They're talking like I came back and listened. They didn't even know I was fucking gone for 10 minutes. These two, they were just talking to each other. And I go and I puke in the bathroom, and then I gotta take a shit. So I go, I'm taking a shit, and I'm like, I pass out like I'm leaning. But at some point between the throw up and the shit, I went and I ran the tub. I'm like, yo, let me run the tub. I'm going to jump in. Nice. I fall asleep. I wake up to my face half covered on the floor in water. Bro, Danny, it came out to this living room right here.
What?
With brand new rug right here because I destroyed the last one. Ankle deep in the living room of water.
What?
I swear. She came home because she was out. She's like, what the fuck happened? There were puddles.
What did the people downstairs say?
They didn't say anything to us.
Nothing.
They didn't say a word.
The first floor's feeling it right now. I'll tell you that.
Bro, it was fucking. I was drowning. I literally was on the bathroom floor, bubbling water out, and I thought in my head, I'm like, it's just the bathroom. Let me just clean this up. I didn't think to walk out here. I had to clean out my whole closet. Bro,
God.
it was fucking disgusting, bro. Disgusting. And that's what we do on the Stoop podcast for our viewers. We go hard right here, all right?
Oh my God.
I had never heard of that because I just threw up like last week too after a long night, but I didn't run the water or anything like that. I just kind of threw up in the toilet and called it a night. I never heard of that before. That was unprecedented.
You know, in my head, I was just thinking to like throw up. I'm like, all right, then I'm gonna cool off in the tub, relax, get to bed. I didn't want to go with the throw up. I just wanted to, and I took a big shit too. It was a mix. I wanted to clean up before I hit that bed, and I knew if I would have soaked and went to bed, it would have been out, lights out. You know?
Yo, did you look at the shit, Dave?
But wait,
I don't remember.
did you clean up after?
Well, you said it was a big shit.
No.
It was a big shit.
How big was it?
It was a loose shit. I had a loose stool.
So here's what I'm thinking about right now. You ever ask someone a question, but it's like an awkward lead-in question? Like you kind of know where you want to take the conversation, and that's why you ask them this question, just to see like where to gauge the conversation of if they're up for this conversation or not.
Right.
Something like this. Something like I heard Dave just say, I took a big shit. So now I say to Dave, how big was this shit? Did you look at your shit? Now, can I get a consensus here? Does everyone look at their shit normally, routinely,
Yeah.
sometimes?
You got to check
Definitely.
it actually medically. I would say
Well-
every now and then to check. It's not a bad thing.
I mean, I think I look at it almost every time because I stand up, turn around, and flush the toilet.
Flush the toilet. You see it.
Yeah.
You're not
So you always
blinded.
take a look at the shit.
I guess to make
Yeah.
sure it all came
All right,
out.
so
maybe?
you ever-
Yeah. What if there's blood?
All right, so now another vote. Anyone ever get like that monster log that comes up out of the water?
Yes.
Yes, out of the water.
A straight log?
I've had a log. Yes, I'm more of. I have a loose shitting problem. It is a problem.
You're a swirler.
I guess you call it a
Loose like
swirler.
this soft-
Bud calls it kibbles and bits shit because it's broken up like kibbles and bits. But
or doc say flat shit.
flat shit. Yes, Doc. Doc's a flat shitter.
Dan, you ever have the monster log?
I have not like monster. I've always tried to like, when you feel that it's coming, it's not breaking, and you try to keep it going. But I've
It's
never
like a
had-
cigar. You don't want to ash
Yeah,
it. You let it keep going.
yeah.
That's where the pinching. That's where pinching a loaf comes
Right.
from.
And it's always like that's the one that no one ever flushes in the public restrooms either because they're like, yes,
You're proud of it. You leave that there.
fuck this next guy.
So, did you ever look at like one of those big logs, like a large shit, and think to yourself like, "Wow, how the fuck did that? Where was that
Well, yeah.
inside of me?
I
Put
definitely
that on
have.
Instagram. Has that
And
ever been done before?
And how did that get out of me?"
I had a guy that I played with in the minor leagues. I forget his name now. He was a lefty pitcher. He had a Facebook page called the Jackhammer, and it was all about the dump that he would take and how many wipes it would take, and he would name them, what he ate beforehand.
That's actually probably good if
We
anything
could probably
medically.
find that on Facebook still.
I can do it. The jackhammer.
I mean, not Facebook.
So-
It was a MySpace page. Is MySpace
so-
even around?
Over. Done. Gone.
Yeah.
Oh no! You first of all, we can all log on there and get our photos off of there. If you still know your password.
definitely
That's
don't
first
know.
of all. Second of all, a lot of artists, like music artists, still do use MySpace.
Wow.
I didn't know
Wait.
that. I didn't even think it existed.
It's the Jackhammer.
I was trying to build before we go into a MySpace. I was trying to build towards a question here, and would we agree that people have wondered how the hell did that thing fit out of me, or where was it inside of me?
Yes, that's a fair.
Or has everyone
Absolutely.
wondered that?
That's a fair thought.
Has everyone wondered that or not wondered that?
I have wondered that.
I haven't come
Dan?
across that many in my life, though.
It seems
Right.
like Danny's not a huge logger.
Well,
Yeah.
He's not a
Ooh,
logger.
you ever that?
I would say I'm more of a kibbles and bits kind of guy.
I feel like
So
if you're getting a log though, that's like a healthy shit. Like
No,
if you get
yeah,
a big.
that's like-
Every time I've gotten a log, I was eating healthy that
You're
week.
you're 100% right. I read up on it.
Rough-
Your shit should be like curved, U-shaped like your intestine. If you're shitting healthy, that's the way it should be. I don't shit healthy.
Here's where this leads me. If that thing fit out of me, could something the same size fit in?
I knew you were going.
Saw that one. Laying that one up. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna
Does
say
that
no.
mean I'm gay?
No.
No, because it's ejecting. It's not injecting.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing wrong
No,
with it.
no, of
Nothing
course
at
not.
all.
Of course not.
We support the gay.
Hashtag pound me too.
Really pushing that, huh, Bill?
Bill's big on that.
Just feel like a good callback. It was coming back around. That same one there.
I got a question for Danny. So, when did it for you click? Like, boom, I'm gonna make a career out of this kind. I got a chance to make a career.
Like before minor league baseball?
Before minor league base, like, were you in fucking 68 Precinct on Shore Road and you're like, I'm
No.
gonna fucking...
No, I still thought I could hit then. But I would say, in high school, my junior year when I started really playing like travel ball, big teams like Youth Service and
Play with
Bayside
the
Yankees.
Bayside Yankees,
yeah.
right.
And I played against like the Baltimore Oriolanders. That was my first time playing for the Bayside Yankees. I showed up, they gave me a uniform out of the bag, and it was like, go ahead, go get them.
Anybody who doesn't know, Bayside Yankees is a huge travel team with... I mean, they play the best of the best. I know people who played on them, played against all professional baseball players. That's what they play. Those are the future stars of major leagues. You want to see future players, the Bayside Yankees, and the teams they play breed them.
Yeah,
How'd you pitch that day, Dan?
I did. I pitched well. So the team I was playing with, the Baltimore Oriolanders, they're owned by Cal Ripken, and they have a beautiful stadium there. And it was the first game of the tournament, and I'm pitching against Gavin Floyd, and they're number one in the 18 under Summer Bowl team.
How old are you at this time?
I'm 16.
16, okay.
Because that's 16 going. I'm 17 at that point, going into my junior year. So he's projected to go top 5 picks overall. They have every college in the country's there. Every scout from every team. There's GMs. Brian Cashman's there. Everybody's there. Like everybody's at this game, and all their team is going D1. Everybody, and I go out there and I strike out the first 5 batters of the game. And it's my first time pitching for Bayside. Now my dad's like shaking his legs and doing. I see him kind of like chuckling and stuff, and I end up going 5 innings, no runs, and we win 2-0. I beat Gavin Floyd, right? And
shit!
I'm like, holy shit! It was a 7-inning game, back then. So that's when my dad comes to me afterwards, and he has just a stack of cards from all the colleges that were there, the identification cards from all the minor league teams, to fill out for all your info. And I was like, maybe I can.
That's awesome. I mean, that's a shining point right there. When you beat a prospect or shut down a team like that, that's incredible. That's got to feel good. Especially, that's got to feel good for you. Your dad must have felt fucking pumped, bro.
Yeah, because before that, it was just local baseball, Like,
exactly. You're playing, and and I understand.
Dan, I feel like Bruce loved pitching, loved you pitching more than you loved pitching.
I could always find him in the stands, no matter where we were, and it was like he was always smiling. And
my brother Michael actually umpired 68 precinct once. It was like farm league, so it's like below little league, and Bruce was coaching, and the team Bruce's team was playing was, I forget what team it was, but they were bad. They were the bad team, and like their pitcher couldn't throw strikes, so Bruce, he gave like a rule to his team: nobody can swing. Like you can't swing at the first pitch, you can't swing at the second pitch, the third. You are not allowed to swing in your at bat. The kid ended up walking the mercy in the entire game, but it was kind of like my brother was like, "Yeah, this is like farm league, man." He told his players they weren't allowed to swing the entire game. And
winners win.
Absolutely, it was a winner's mentality, and it won the game. Mercy, it was like
especially
4 innings
when
done.
You're swinging over your head and you're striking out.
Yeah. He said, "Don't swing the bat. This kid's gonna walk everybody. Just stand there." And he won the game.
That's good. That's good coaching because that's real life.
Now you're 100%.
Not everybody gets a shot.
He's got to
Not
figure it
everybody
out.
gets a shot.
You got to figure it out on the fly.
Right. The younger people figure out that the world is not fair, and the rest of the other team's not going to help you because they feel bad. That goes into business. That goes into life. That goes into college. That's an important lesson right there. I don't know if that's what he was going for, or if he just wanted to win that day, but there is an important lesson there.
That's the beauty.
Really
that's the beauty people have to see in sports. Like to me, that's what I see in sports. It's not about what happens on the field, really. It's about the mentality you get from the field, from the court, wherever you play. You can't get that mentality. Listen, I understand classroom stuff is important. I'm not saying it's not. All that stuff's important, but you can't get that mentality that I need to win or what I need to do to win. You can't get that in a classroom. There's nothing you can learn like that on a field, going against head-on, one-on-one, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, baseball, soccer, anything. Going head-to-head like that, you can't learn that anywhere. You can't be taught that unless you experience it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm a huge, I'm huge on sports, because I believe in it. I really believe in it.
Plus, you're dumb as shit, so you can't be doing the fucking classroom thing. I mean, listen, if you throw 90 miles an hour, but you can't add 45 plus 45, you
90.
might as well be big in sports.
That's 90.
It's because it's miles per hour. We get it, Dave. It's all right.
Right. Speaking about sports, did anyone hear Mike Francesa talking about the death of
this guy
Lee yesterday?
Let me tell Danny real quick. Dougal, I hate
to use Twitter.
Dougal, let me just preface this. Dougal loves Mike Francesa. Like, this guy respects this man beyond belief. Like me,
I'm a fan too. I'm a big fan.
Here
of
we
Mike,
go.
Mike
Here we
Francesa.
go. Dougal, you got a fan here.
Everyone except for you, Dave.
It's not everyone except for me. I can tell you that right now.
I also love when Boomin that make fun of him in the morning too. That's great too, though. I love hearing that.
It is really good. Okay.
I'm bipartisan.
I don't even listen to the show. Okay. But what they were saying about me, okay. Yeah. Mike's the best at what he does. There's nobody in the business or the industry that can do what he does.
What?
He could be a GM of a team if he wanted to be.
Stop. Everybody just stop.
Now, okay.
The
Yankees wanted me. Okay. The Yankees wanted me. Okay. I didn't want to do it. I got 3 young kids. I didn't want to do it. Okay. Can't drink Diet Coke in the dugout. Okay. So I don't want to do it. The Yankees wanted me. I could have that job. I could have that job right now. You think I couldn't have it? I could have it. Okay. I could have it. He knows his shit, man.
He's the best.
If you call him, you better come correct. So he'll shit all
Stop with the correcting, all right? I would love to call this guy. I hope I get to call this guy one day.
Dan, am I right or wrong? Come back, right?
Absolutely.
You can't call him with some bullshit.
Listen, the guy, I respect his, I don't know if it's a photographic memory, whatever the fuck he's got. He remembers mad shit. I don't know how he does it, but he does remember mad shit. I respect that. But I just can't respect a fat fucking slob who's done fucking nothing. Who's done nothing but talk. All right? He's done nothing but talk. And I understand, Dougal, you're gonna say, call him and say that. Call him and say that.
No, but that's what he gets paid to do.
I understand he gets paid to do it, but I don't respect it.
Look at what he does. What don't you respect? The guy makes millions of dollars talking. You make $0 talking, and yet you still do it every fucking week.
I love it.
All right.
That's exactly what Mike would tell you. If you called him, he would tell you, and you said that to him, he would tell you, yeah, I got rich doing this.
All right. Listen, he found a niche. That's fine. He found a niche. God bless him. He found a fucking niche.
You're trying to exploit his niche.
You're trying to get a come off Mike Francesa.
I am not trying to get. I'm not trying to get anything off Mike Francesa. That I can promise you.
Dude, that's like saying you play heavy metal, but you have no respect for Ozzy Osbourne.
No, you're way off, bro.
You want to be a rapper, and you have no respect for Kool Mo D.
No, Kool Mo D. No, here's the difference. Kool Mo D did it.
Music,
Kool Mo D. Here's the thing. Kool Mo D did it. Kool Mo D wasn't behind the fucking mic talking about things he didn't do.
He wasn't talking about sports.
All right, enough about Mike Francesa. I'm done arguing about Mike Francesa. I'm done.
You gotta call him. We need to record that.
I'll call him.
Before he leaves.
Last 1 second. You didn't hang right up on him. Click. He's hung up on better people than Dave. I'll tell you that.
You're a piece of shit.
What kind of shit? Is it a flat shit? A round shit? Sort of long shit?
All right, I'm going back to Danny on a question here. What was it like playing for Severian, which could arguably be one of the best, definitely northeastern high school teams put together? I'm not going to say South. I know they have ridiculous teams down there. I'm going to say one of the best northeastern teams ever put together in high school level. What was it like to play for that?
Yeah, that was definitely fun. Not losing at all the whole year, But we won the city championship 3 out of 4 years. We lost our senior year with one of our best teams that we ever had in our 4 years. Our junior year was definitely our best team, I would say, because we had the seniors that were strong, real strong.
You had what's his name was
Danny Martinez, Tom Curry. Yeah. Tom Curry, what? He was one of our best players.
Shout out to Tom Curry, the high school Lincoln coach at Lincoln coach football.
Yes,
great.
Put
great
one
coach.
off the wall in Shea Stadium in the championship. Almost hit one out.
Oh, nice. I mean,
another time we had Tommy Arpino also almost hit one out in Shea Stadium that year.
Typical Tom Arpino almost hit one out. That's typical Tom.
2 more push-ups, you would have had it.
More push-ups, less donuts, Tom. More push-ups, less donuts.
Another game. Tommy ruined the game for me, just like Billy ruined the game for me.
Tommy did?
Yeah, as he was catching for me. Against Christ the King our senior year, I punch out 16 out of 16 batters at this point, right? So the kid drops down a bunt in the 5th inning or whatever it is. Sun's going down, we're winning like 20-0, and he drops a bunt down to third base. Pedro Beato, Major League Baseball player. Pedro Beato's playing third base. He's playing back. He's not thinking someone's dropping a bunt down. The kid drops a bunt down. I punched out every batter in the game. Right? This is all these scouts are behind. This is right before the end of the year. This is what got me drafted by Kansas City, because Kansas City had the scouting director and all those guys that were at that game, and I was throwing hard, and I was just pumping everything in the zone. So the kid drops a bunt down, and he tries to steal second. Tommy throws him out. So now I strike the next guy out. Now it's 17 out of 18 batters. It should have been 7. Should have had the 18 out of 18 if you just let the guy steal second, But no, Tommy throws a seed down the second base and throws him out by like 4 steps.
Tommy is my brother-in-law, and I could honestly say he did that on purpose to steal your spotlight. Did that on purpose. He thought about that mentally. He was like, fuck this guy. I'm going to throw somebody out. This scout's here. I'm going to throw a fucking seed. Fuck Danny, all right? He definitely said that.
One knee.
And then Pudgy got up from behind the plate, and they asked him to stand up, and he said, I am standing up. And they said, no. Well, go sit back down then, son.
I can actually contribute here. I can contribute to this. I was playing for Bishop Ford in whatever it was, 98, 99. We playing at Prospect Park against Severian. And right before the game, the coach tells us, he gets us all together and tells us, look, guys, I know we're going to lose, but just go out there and do the best you can. All right.
That guy should be fired. Never be allowed around fucking competitive sports ever again.
Speaking about a big
Smoke 2 packs of life today.
Speaking about big strikeout game, big shout out to Billy Masiello on this podcast. Came to one of my games against New Utrecht, and he comes up to me before the game, and he says, Dave, I'm going to write every strikeout you get on my body. And you would think, he has like a painter. He has a Sharpie magic marker, this guy. 7 innings.
Actually, you know what it was, Dan?
Yeah.
You should actually know, because I'm sure your brother Rob, RC1, had a lot of them. You know the king marker that would really get you high?
Oh, yeah.
It was like the white stripe around it?
Yes.
It's one of those.
Did that have the thing inside that went...
Right.
Yes.
Right.
It was the graffiti marker, and Billy says to me, he comes before the game, he says, listen, every strikeout you get today, I'm writing on my chest. 7 innings, I struck out 18. 18 batters. Bro, this kid, Billy, he had it on his belly. He had it on his... But he was there, and he wrote every one of those strikeouts down, man. Big shout-out to Billy Masiello for that. Big shout-out, man. I appreciate it.
Yo, a kid hit a ball about 700 feet against Dave in that game, too.
Yes, he did. It was Carlo, actually. He hit it, 97th and Shore? He hit it on top of the walk... I was throwing hard. He was a big dude. He hit a home run. It happens.
I gave up to a 700-foot bomb to a guy with Giancarlo Stanton. Hit a 600-foot home run.
Wait, the guy?
In 2009, my last year.
Giancarlo Stanton, the guy?
His name was Mike Stanton at the time.
Yes, it was. What happened with the name thing?
I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to pizzazz it up or something like that.
Well, isn't there another Mike Stanton?
Mike Stanley there was.
I'm not sure. Maybe. But, yeah, I struck him out.
Did you?
They bring me into the game to face him out of the bullpen. This is my last year with the Mariners in 2009, this Southern League. But they bring me in to face him out of the bullpen. I struck him out with a changeup. I had a ball out of his front foot. I felt great. Everyone gave me high fives and shit. And then I go a couple more innings, and here he comes again. And I'm like, I'm gonna get him with that changeup again. This kid's 18 years old. He don't know better. 19 years old. So I throw him a first pitch changeup. Takes it for a strike. I throw like a fastball in off the plate, curveball in the dirt, and I'm like, all right, perfect. Now behind the count. Perfect. Here comes a changeup. All out on front foot, 500 feet to left field. My team runs up to the front step. They want to see how far it's going. It was a bomb.
It was a bomb. Let me ask you, Billy brought up a good point a few episodes ago. I think Billy's totally right with this. If you look up Giancarlo's stats, I don't think he hits home runs against 1 and 2s. I think his home runs comes off 3, 4, 5 pitchers in the major leagues. The 1 and 2 starters, he'll go 0 for 6 for his 6 strikeouts, then he'll hit his 4 home runs. I don't think he hits home runs or hits well off good pitching. Not that many people do.
When the playoffs comes, you only face that one.
And then you face Chris Sale in the 8th inning. You know what I mean? It's a different ballgame. That's why that team will never win with guys like that. That home run mentality is not going to win. And
it's not about the home run mentality. The guy, this is just me, and I'm not even a baseball guy, but what I see, he capitalizes on 2 fronts. He capitalizes on when the pitcher is scared of him, not scared of him, but isn't confident to know that they're going to get him. He capitalizes on that, and then he just waits for a mistake. And Dan, I'm sure you could tell us, if you're going to be a 1-2 starter in the major leagues, you don't get mistakes. Because those guys in the majors, you make a mistake, it's 400 feet immediately.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing thing you look at is when players hit home runs, they hit mistakes in the major leagues. So it's like you see one mistake every 40 pitches, and you hit that. How is that possible? Like, that's the insanity of it.
There are guys who don't have to hit mistakes. Like, I don't know if you remember that Red Sox team with Manny Ramirez. It didn't matter what you did.
Yeah.
You could come with your best shit. He can hit you. You didn't have to make a mistake for Manny Ramirez to get a hit off you or hit a home run off you. He was that good.
Teammate of mine, and when I was with the Tigers, Freddie Dulce, gets called up to the big leagues on the road in Boston, comes out of the bullpen, first guy he faces is Manny Ramirez. Dulce's throwing warm-up pitches, 97, 99, 97, 97. And then he goes out there and throws a first pitch, like 93-mile-an-hour slider, just off the outside corner. Manny goes, Oppo, gap, bomb. Signs the bat, welcome to the big leagues, have a great career.
And he gave it him?
Gave it to him after the game.
That's, bro. That's nuts. That is nuts. A quick story.
That good?
Yeah.
it's not about mistakes for a guy like Manny Ramirez.
Right.
He's so locked in. He's so talented, and it just I don't know.
Yo,
That's my opinion.
You remember when they were like, you got to do a steroid test? He's like, I retire. He's like, I retire. I actually got a. Go, Billy. What do you guys say, Bill?
It was like a live interview. The guy's like, "What do you think about guys who get caught on steroids? Like, you should be banned for life." They're like, "All right, so take a test right now." He's like, "Fuck you!" He flips the table and walks out. Just happened here.
I actually got a. It's not a
loser.
It's not a question, but more of I got to hear his side of it. I want to hear Danny's side of the deaf kid on Malloy.
Oh man. So at first I didn't know what the sound was.
So anybody who doesn't know, Malloy is a local high school. He played for Severian High School. He was pitching against them. They were a good team.
They were good, yeah.
They were a very good team.
Yeah, they were always good.
You lost them in senior year?
No,
in the
I lost to McClancy.
I'll tell you what. Actually, before we get to that, I was at American League. I was playing for Bergen Beat. Steve Bort. I was playing for, and I'm on the mound pitching. And I remember you guys lost. I don't know what parents were there. The celebration that went on at him, it was ridiculous. They were like cheering, and I'm on the mound. I'm like, oh, they're cheering for me, bro. I'm like all psyched. I'm like, whoo, everybody's for me here. I get in the dugout like, yeah, Severian lost. They lost in the playoffs. I'm like, bro, I thought you were cheering for me this whole time. But there were parents literally yelling in excitement. And I'm talking, it was probably miles away from the field they played at. They must have got a message or something like that, and they were so happy you guys lost.
Yeah.
It was insane. It was really crazy.
We were at Malloy College.
Malloy College.
We lost 2-1 off a walk-off home run. I forget the kid's name on who beat us? Might have been Malloy.
I think it was Malloy. That's why I brought. That's what rang my memory when I said the Malloy thing.
And he hit a home run to opposite field, and it hit the top of the fence.
And went out?
Went over.
Oh, my God.
If you don't know Malloy, it's a very short right field with a high fence, a really high fence.
So it hit the top.
The Malloy College.
That's...
Dave.
Yeah.
Dave. Who's the guest here, you or Danny?
Tell me about...
You asked him to tell a story, and then you're talking
about...
I
did, but the fucking Malloy thing, it hit a fucking memory thing in my head.
Can we get back to Danny abusing... fucking disabled people?
No,
that's what
so there was none of that that happened. Oh my God.
Go on.
I tuned in.
I thought they were just trying to distract me, and they were making these crazy noises and stuff. So I come in, I'm laughing on the mound, and I come in and I say, guys, you hear that? Yo, you hear that guy who's screaming like that? And that's when they told me the kid is deaf. And I felt horrible. I did. I felt horrible. But now, that's all I could think about when I'm out there. And I had to cover my face sometimes because he obviously don't know what he sounds like. And it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. And the rest of his team, they're used to it. So they weren't laughing at it. And I couldn't help myself, and I had to cover my face with my glove a little bit until I was very immature, obviously in high school, super immature. I couldn't contain myself, and I covered my face a little bit in between while I was on the mound until I had to pitch, and I was able to get through it. But
I heard your glove went from like 12 inches, 8 inches, 4 inches,
to straight
12
in front
inches,
of my face.
1 inch on your face, laughing as you pitch. And then the coach was like, what the fuck's wrong with Danny? They're like, it's the deaf kid in the other team. He's fucking him up.
Yeah, he was in my head. He was in my head. I think I even gave him a few hits that game. Oh man,
Dave, you also have experience having a deaf guy on your team.
Oh, I do. Good story is shout out to Mike D'Amore, however you pronounce.
True gentleman.
True gentleman, absolutely, 100%. So once
he's not gonna hear the shout out though.
he's not gonna hear the show. Oh my God, this guy doesn't stop abusing deaf people. So one day we're in at Fort Hamilton. I'm in the dugout. I actually just walk in the dugout, and I hear Coach Maglino fucking berating this kid, Mike. Berating him like, you're a fucking idiot. I told you to do the book this way. Screaming at this kid, like fucking straight up yelling at him. He messed something up in the book, all right? I go sit down next to Mike. I'm like, yo, Mike, just relax. It's not a big deal. He goes, Dave, I had my hearing aids off. I didn't hear him. Same kid, actually. My last at bat senior year.
Why do you do the voice though?
You got to do the voice.
Yeah, Dave, seriously, come on, man. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Brutal, man.
Same kid, Mike Diamore. My last at bat senior year, I'm like, yo, Mike, take my at bat, get up. Bro, he gets up against telecommunication. He gets drilled right in the head.
Oh
this
my
poor
God.
kid, bro.
Oh.
He gets drilled right in the head. I was like, are you kidding me, bro? I said to him, I was like, man, I was feeling good. I'm like, yo, Mike, it's my last at bat. Just take it. We were seniors, both seniors. Take the at bat, man. You earned it, bro. Just take my at bat. He's like, no. I'm like, I don't want to do the voice.
Yeah.
He's like, I take it. He gets up. I don't know if it was Frankie Maynard pitching.
Do the voice. You
Nah,
made up for it. You made up for it. You gave me your last.
Nah,
at bat 12 years ago.
Nah, Dave, I'm not
Jesus
taking it
Christ.
back. I'm not taking it back. And then he gets, bro, the poor kid got drilled, man. I felt so bad. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have gave him to them. But it was, I was trying to do the right thing, I was trying to do the right thing on him. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. We know.
Real quick, I got another story that Danny needs to address quickly. I'm just gonna mention the name, Mr. Flood.
Oh my God.
Anybody doesn't know Mr. Flood? Actually, me and Billy Dougal. Do you know Mr. Flood?
Yeah, he had like a big ass beard, white
Yes,
guy, teacher.
correct. And for us, me, Dougal, and Billy, he was a substitute teacher who was the coolest guy. Billy, am I wrong? He was mad cool, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Typical Billy. Typical Billy.
Out of him.
You got to be a fucking jerk off. You
Well, no,
really,
just abused it. I was really nasty to him. Like I abused
alright.
him because he.
because he was so nice.
know,
The class
And I was
was.
a real jerk off in high school, man.
No, it was junior high, but you're
High.
100% right. You were probably a jerk, and I was too, because he was so nice. He let us get away with everything. 100%, you're right.
So that sets up the preamble for Dan. What do you know about Mr.
What do you know about Mr. Flood?
Hey, you're
So
a
obviously,
terrible host. Man.
This was a smart person's class because Mikey Trinos was in it with me,
Touche.
and it was politics and art and religion. And
But normally you would have been in the Rudy Lugo class, right?
most of the time I was in the Rudy Lugo classes. Yeah, it depends. It depends. Only the subjects that we really needed to pass. You know. So
Yeah.
which was great. I had Dr. Positano. He was amazing. I don't know if you guys knew Dr.
I don't
Pos.
know.
No one really knew Dr. Pos outside of the Reach program. Because he only taught the really, really smart classes and the really, really dumb classes.
There's no in between?
Right. So it was like only the E1s like Mikey Trinos got taught by, and me, Reach program. You know, Reach for the Stars. I don't even know if they still have Reach in Savannah. I'm sure
They have
do.
girls
Rest
now.
in peace, Charlie Camp Dirk, a Reach program veteran
You know Charlie.
right there.
Yeah, Charlie. Oh, Charlie, yeah. Charlie used to
died.
throw batteries from the back of the class.
He did a lot
Yeah,
of
he's
things.
dead.
Yeah.
He did a lot of things, Charlie. Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah.
He was
yeah,
Charlie was good. I'll tell you, off.
Rip.
That's his dad.
Rip.
Bill, remember when he wrestled you in Staten Island?
No,
You guys
that
had
was
like a ongoing wrestling match between Staten Island. We got on the bus back to Brooklyn.
Staten Island, and we wrestled in the churchyard again.
Right. It
Dan,
was
I don't know if
going
you know that Charlie was like a divisional county champion wrestler.
I remember he used to wrestle for Savarian.
Right, but he was like in the 122-pound weight class. And at this point, I was like 195 pounds. And I'm thinking that he was gonna out wrestle me. And I don't think there was a result because he put me in some kind of leg thing around my neck. Like we were on the floor and he wrapped his legs around my neck, and I just stood up, and I just kept smashing his skull off the floor repeatedly. To his credit, he never let go. He did not let go. So I don't really know what they ended up calling it. I think they called it a victory for Charlie, So credit to him. But that was a really weird. That was the same day he verbally assaulted a black woman in the parking lot at a New Dorp football game. You remember that, Dougal?
It was a whole thing. Yeah, we started out at a fucking high school game in Staten Island. Then we make our way onto the bus over the bridge, and he was beefing with you, Bill, and it turns it's like a wrestling match between Staten Island and into Bay Ridge. It was a whole thing.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so Mr. Flood, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Mr. Flood.
Politics and religion and art.
Politics, religion, and art.
Politics and art and religion.
All should go together.
So, all right. So it's the last day of school, right? It's our junior year. It's our last day, last class of the last day of school. The bell is getting ready to. We have not. This was the wash-up day, the wash-up period. You're not doing any. We didn't do anything. We didn't do a thing. The whole class. It was just hanging out. Seniors are driving around honking their horns like idiots, you know? So I had a paper ball in my hand that I had no intention of throwing out the window.
I want to just say, Mikey Trinos reiterated he had zero intention of throwing this ball out the window. None. Mikey Trinos said that. Honest as could be, Mikey Trinos said he had no intention.
I was just looking out the window.
Now everybody knows how smart of a class this is. That Mikey Trinos was able to telepathically know what Danny's
because he saw that I was
with
just kind of hanging out, looking out the window at all the seniors driving by, you know. But when he called me out, he was kind of loud about it.
Explain how he called you out, because the viewers don't know.
I don't really remember the exact words or anything now.
What was that, Bill?
No, paraphrase it. Paraphrase it with an impersonation.
I was just like, don't you throw that out the window, you know?
So hold on. So let me play this out real quick.
Give him a second. Jesus,
you and Mikey
shut the
Trinos
fuck
are hanging
up.
out in the room?
No, the whole class.
Oh, it's the whole class.
It's the whole class.
Okay, the way I heard it was you and Mikey. It's the whole class.
It's the whole class, yeah.
The whole class.
The last day of this, now, because of the 8-day schedule and things move around, it happens to be the last period of the last day of school. The bell's going to ring. School's out for summer, you know?
Literally done.
Literally done. Right?
I didn't hear that part. This gets even worse for Mr. Flood.
So he kind of yells at me, and I'm like, damn, he called me out in front of everybody. So I was like, I'm not going to throw it out the window. And he was like, give me that paper ball. You know, and I took it and I ripped it in half, and I only gave him half of it. Right? So I don't know why I was
It was a kid. Listen,
I was super immature, bro.
Billy, Billy, would you have done
Mr. Flood, if you listen to him, I apologize for the whole day, right?
Billy, how would you have reacted?
No, that's actually a very Billy move right there in high school.
100%.
Very Billy. Very Billy. I'm with you, Dan.
Don't apologize for that. You're a young kid, man.
So, shit happens or whatever, and he gets all pissed off now, and he's like, go to the dean's office or whatever. And as I'm walking out, I kind of like, move the desk out. I didn't throw the desk. I just kind of moved it a little bit, And I was like, all right, and I'm out of here. And I opened the door, and I closed the door behind me, and I walked 3 steps down the hallway, and boom, the bell goes off for the end of the school year. Fuck going to the dean's office. I'm out of here, right? Who's going to call me on that? Mr. Flood goes straight to the dean's office to see if I'm there,
Oh, what a bitch.
So then he writes this scathing letter, and I get a call at like 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, saying you have to come back to school with your dad, and they want to talk to you. They're not going to let you pitch in Shea Stadium in the city championship now. Wow. And Coach Canale had to come, and everybody was there, and he had to tell them like, it's not fair to the team, one of those things, And
white privilege.
Yeah, and I end up getting suspended. I end up getting suspended for the whole fall season the next year.
The preseason to the regular
whatever
season.
it is,
whatever, spring, fall, whatever.
When you first show up to school, it's fall, right?
Fall, fall.
So
season.
you play that small little fall
7
season.
games.
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah. It's like all in the exhibition, whatever. So I couldn't play in any of those in my senior year or whatever, but it was all good.
That was it. That was yours.
But I had to go up, and he wrote this huge scathing letter that kind of exaggerated a little bit, and I couldn't really defend myself. They didn't want to hear a word out of me.
Now let me ask you, Billy. Do you think Flood was right in any regards?
No, fuck that guy.
Dougal,
man.
Do you think Flood was right in any regards?
No, go home.
Your
job is over. The year's over.
And I'll be honest.
You're still going to get paid in 2 weeks.
The dean is a prick too. The dean is a prick too. Let me tell you something, because if let's just say I'm the dean, right? The bell rings, like I'm thinking about Italian ices,
right?
Girls in bikinis on the island. Here comes this bearded fucking creep. Like, this guy threw a paper ball. He only gave me half of it. I don't ever want him to play baseball again. And I'm the dean. I'm like, suck a fat one, bro. Get the fuck out of here. I'll talk to you in September about this, you weirdo.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what?
Obviously I was coming back for summer school, so it wasn't like my school year was ending. Come on. You had plenty of time in the summer to get me.
Now, the way I heard it was, and again, it was obviously wrong. I'm going to go with your interpretation on it. You ended up throwing the
last half of piece of paper.
Hold on, Bill, real quick. Daddy failed to mention this part.
Right. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I did throw. I didn't throw it at. He was thinking that I'm gonna fire this at somebody that's walking by, right? But no, at that point it was just like, I'm out of here, and here goes the paper, and then boom.
Where'd you throw the paper?
I threw the paper out the window.
Out the window.
Yeah.
It just happened to be a window there. You didn't put the window there.
There were wall-to-wall windows, and they opened up with no screens. It was no screens, no cages. I could have jumped out. I could have fell out. It was actually kind of dangerous. Now
He actually brought up a hazard for severity in high school.
Yeah.
Actually, nicely done, man.
Might as well have just walked into the classroom and said, Dan, do me a favor, throw that paper out the window for me. That's what he might have done at that point.
They were
you surround a kid with paper. What the fuck?
They were more upset about that situation when I threw a piece of paper out the window than when two kids that dressed up in Severian school uniforms came in and jumped my older brother in the middle of a classroom. That was the dean's class.
Really?
You know, and they tried to blamed that on my brother more than.
No, let me ask you. Was that the kid that your brother mentioned in his stand-up?
No.
Oh, I didn't know. Because that was great. How your
hey, Dan, can you off the top of your head, do you have a plug for your brother's new show that we could get on here for people to watch?
Yeah, he's let's see what we got here. He's Rob Loves Bagels.
Yes, he is.
On all platforms, I'm pretty sure. Let's see, we got it here. But yeah, you can check him out. He's at Rob Loves Bagels on all platforms. The 3-letter crew on all platforms. That's his graffiti comedy crew.
Do you want to shout out your younger brother? See how he get abused.
Got my little brother Keith Norman Christensen. Detective, property crimes, bottom of the barrel in the squad there.
He eats bean burgers.
Bean burgers.
And
yeah,
zucchini spaghetti.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question. When did you get drafted? 2002?
2002.
Now, I'm going to say that was around the steroid era. Am I right?
Yeah. Or the end of it, I guess.
End of it.
Yeah.
Give or take right around there.
Yeah.
Now, in your experience, and again, I never got signed to a major league contract, but when I went to Pensacola Junior College, I went there, I could honestly tell you, out of 25 guys, 24 people on steroids. Would you say it was completely all over the major leagues?
So when I first got in was when all that what was it? What was the
Balco?
No, the first one was the Mitchell Report.
Mitchell Report.
So when the Mitchell Report came out, that's when they started the crazy drug testing. Like in the minor leagues, you can. Obviously, you saw in your introduction I was suspended. Thank you for mentioning that.
We're gonna get to that.
Yeah,
I want to speak about that.
So you take four drug tests a year, basically. You take one in spring training.
Is it random or is
They
it?
say it's random, but every team is getting drug tested during the year. It might be random when it happens, but you're definitely getting one in the first half. You're definitely getting one in the second half, and you're probably going to get one during the off season when you're at home.
Oh, you do get, like, so off season you do get one?
Oh yeah.
All right.
So.
Yeah, but Dan, you used to come to my house and buy weed, man.
We're gonna get to the weed. I'm focused on the PEDs here.
Right.
I used to pass it out the window in tinfoil.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so you take a ton of drug tests in the minor leagues, and major leagues is a little different. You only take drug tests for performance enhancement drugs.
So in the major leagues, you don't, like, let's say weed. You don't take a test for it?
Right. You don't get tested for. So say you take. Remember the guys who used to pop greenies?
Yes.
Amphetamine.
Yeah.
They used to be considered They're considered performance enhancement drugs. So if you pop a greenie before a game, you're getting suspended 50 games. If you go to the bathroom real quick and bump a line of coke out of your pocket or on your finger, and then go out there, it's like the same thing basically. You won't even get tested for it for the next.
So like a greenie. Like I always question, is that like an Adderall?
I guess
Yeah,
it's
Adderall.
I've never taken one. They're like, I guess apparently
It's
they're like,
Adderall.
But is it Adderall? Bill,
it's
you know that for a
amphetamines.
fact?
It's amphetamines.
It's amphetamines.
Yeah.
You can. It has the same exact effect on your brain. A greenie and an Adderall.
So I'm
and
gonna
methamphetamine.
I'm gonna assume that a greenie and an Adderall would show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you take a
absolutely.
prescription.
You ever look at Dave? You ever look at the bottle of Adderall?
Never looked
It
at it.
says on there, amphetamine salt. That's what
Okay.
it is. It's just amphetamines and salt.
So that's what
Now,
they.
methamphetamine is just artificially created amphetamines.
Okay,
Right.
makes sense.
I think Adderall, like a prescription of Adderall, is a little bit cleaner than a greenie is.
Yeah, I
a
don't
greenie
even,
is
I
like,
don't even know where they came from. Where they come from. Right?
Greenies have been around since fucking Babe Ruth's era. It's not a new fucking thing. It's been around some sort of focusing type
It's any
thing.
sort of speed. It's just a slang word for speed.
Right.
It could be anything that's speed. It could be meth. It could be, any number of things that are just speed. But it's amphetamines. It's adrenaline. It's beans. You could call it crank. Yeah, whatever you want. If a biker made it for you in fucking Iowa next to the dog factory.
In Clinton, Iowa.
In Clinton, Iowa, behind the dog food factory.
Yeah.
Remember that movie White Boys, Bill?
Oh,
Remember
my.
White Boys from back in the day?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a great movie, man. The kid with the big nose. Flip dog. Flip dog. And then they made Malibu's Most Wanted, which was kind of like a bite off of White Boys, which is a really weird thing to do because it was a terrible movie. I don't know why.
Nah, it was entertaining though. If you were wrecked and you're watching Malibu Most Wanted, it was entertaining, man. That was entertaining. I remember watching that. I'm like, this movie sucked. Nah, this movie's not that bad. You know, it was all right.
Let's get back to the question at hand. Dan, what percentage of guys were taking steroids
In the minor
back
leagues?
then? Yeah.
I'd say
Minimum.
you had a couple, maybe a couple guys per organization when I was playing at least.
Really?
You know, because
Okay.
and they got caught within their first 2 drug tests of the year. You know, because that stuff lasts in your system for a long time.
I could honestly say I was in a junior college, and I can honestly say if there was 25 guys on the roster, 23 to 24 took fucking steroids. It was a serious thing.
And you're not drug tested like that in college.
In
either.
college,
Yeah.
you're not. And I understand it. I understood it to that point where, and I always said, if I got drafted, I would take it to keep up because everybody's fucking doing it. You got to keep up.
But you would have got caught. That's what Danny's saying. In
Right.
our age group,
And
you would have got caught.
We would have got caught. If it was before, we
If
would
you're
have.
not invested in or anything like that, you're gone. You're getting
You're
released.
gone.
Like
You're
I know
done.
a guy. I had played with a guy in
Hey,
my.
can I ask you another question? If you now obviously hindsight is 20/20, and you've
Right.
seen the later chapters of the book. If you could go back and rewrite a chapter or two, would you have tried to attend college, or was that never a thought? And still, you're confident with the decision that you made.
Actually, and off of that,
Hey,
Billy.
shut the fuck up, Dave.
Billy, great question. Excellent.
Bro.
What college would you have attended?
So I signed to go with Mike Hernandez and Chris Garcia at Daytona Beach Community
Oh,
College.
Daytona Beach?
So you know, if you get drafted, I'm sorry, if you go to college out of high school and you go to a 4-year college, you have to stay for 3 years. You can't,
Yes.
you can't
Committed.
get drafted again until after your junior season. And I was not a student, you know, like I wasn't gonna be able to last, especially in another
That's-
state by myself without my mom doing my homework for me.
JUCO, it was perfect.
Yeah, so that was perfect. Yes, you know, and by the time I was getting the draft was coming, like I knew I was getting drafted, and I was just gonna sign. I was going. Like I didn't want to go to school. I look at it now. Maybe I should have went to school, you know, because I would have been a police officer probably 6.5 years now. I got called the same class. I got a 97 on the test. I got called the same class as Keith. So
Oh, you
I
did?
would have been a cop for 7 years now probably but I didn't go to college one day, so obviously I didn't fill out the paperwork and send it back. They weren't giving you a voucher for that, you know.
NYB
You really
baseball
wanna
team
be-
could have got you on.
Yeah, right?
And call us up.
But
you really want to be a cop, though?
I mean,
He
it's a
did.
family thing, though.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was a code officer for 35 years. My aunt was a
Yeah,
cop.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Did,
That's true. I
Did
get that.
Bill, what were you saying?
I was just understanding. I was understanding what Danny was saying about it's a family thing,
Yeah.
you know?
And the neighborhood thing, you know, a lot of guys, you know, we're city jobs guy. We're city job people. You're just city people. That's it.
Man, city,
Yeah.
it's a safe thing. You know,
Right.
that's what it is. Bill, you could vouch for that, right? It's a safe thing.
Yeah, it's a fucking cop-out. I'm the number one fucking sellout, but whatever. Yeah, it is. It's safe.
It is. It's safe. It is what it is. Let me ask you, in, I guess, November 2009, what made you quit? What made you say that was it?
So basically, that was when I got suspended, you know, in 50-game suspension.
What happened with the suspension,
That
if you don't mind me asking?
That was for testing positive for smoking marijuana.
They really tested you for that?
Yeah, they test
See-
you that 4 times a year for that.
Oh, so every time.
Every time you get tested, you're getting tested for everything. The
Every-
whole
oh.
How many guys in the majors today you think smoke pot?
Every.
Because you said
lots
they
of
don't
guys.
test for
Yeah,
tons.
lots of guys. Definitely.
Okay.
I didn't really smoke a lot of pot before I started playing minor league baseball. And when I was in high school, I didn't smoke pot at all. You know?
Okay.
When I was
Yeah.
in Severian, I
You were
did
in,
not.
like, DARE program.
When I was in Severian, I did not smoke pot at all. I swear to you. I didn't start
I
until I
believe
was
you.
18 years old. I swear. So, I don't know why that's not believable, but I was
Bruce,
really focused on this
can you
baseball
do us
thing.
a favor? Can we have Bruce put on some earmuffs and then we'll re-ask that question?
Yeah, but now when I got to the minor leagues, there's there's a lot of stress involved in that too. You know, like you wanna be pitch well every single year. And when I first got in Spokane and in my first year in rookie ball, I wasn't smoking pot yet, and I pitched great that year. Took my drug test like it was no big deal, you know, like no problem. First guy in, first guy out, one of those things. And then after that, I was traveling with a Gatorade bottle with an orange flush drink in it. But
see, but like, isn't that crazy that now, you know, not now, but let's say in the next 5 years, it's legal. You get fucked. You get labeled because of that. Because of the...
There's minor league players now that live in California, in Colorado, in Oregon, in Washington.
Let me ask you, does that play precedent to some... No, it doesn't, right? To the Major League Baseball.
Right,
it doesn't play
I
precedent.
guarantee they don't care.
They don't give a shit.
Right.
Because
Until
I'm
it's
living in
legal
Cali.
at the federal level, Major League Baseball is not going to do anything about it.
See, that's fucked up.
But they still might not. They still might not do anything. They have it because you're an employee of their company. That's a privately owned equity. They have the opportunity to say whatever they want.
Right.
Like, you can't smoke this drug. That's the bottom line. You want to play this game, you can't smoke this drug.
From what I understand,
whether it's legal or not.
Most of the private businesses in the states that are recreational are not testing for it anymore when they hire people.
They just leave it alone, right?
Yeah.
Now, like, my whole thing is...
It's like alcohol. Don't come hammered to work. They don't want you to smoke. Obviously, it's a little different when you're smoking pot, but you can function a little better. But it's, you know... You can't go on your smoke break and smoke a joint for 15-minute smoke break. You know what I mean? It's like you have to wait till you go home. And you can't smoke in pot. It's treated
Depends on the company.
It's
Depends on the company.
You ever hear Mickey Mantle tell the story about smoking pot with Joe Pepitone? Seriously, it's a great story. It's a great story.
Who was
Mickey
it?
Mantle, obviously, we all know had a serious drinking problem. He'd show up. You know, they'd have to get him out of bars and hotels and bring him straight to the game. And he was really hungover one game. They basically dragged him out of a bar and threw him in a cab and dragged him to the stadium. And he shows up, and Joe Pepitone tells him, "Here, you know, he's got a headache. He's seeing double." Joe Pepitone hands him a joint in the parking lot. And he says, "Here, smoke this. You'll feel better." So Mickey Mantle takes like 2 or 3 hits off the joint, and he goes inside. Everybody gets warmed up. Mickey Mantle gets up to the plate. He takes the most beautiful level swing that Joe Pepitone has ever seen in his life. Misses the ball by 4 feet. 3 consecutive pitches. Walks back to the dugout. Tells, I believe Casey Stengel was the manager at the time, tells him, "I'm done for the day." Walks past Pepitone. Goes, "I'm not your friend anymore." Goes into the stands and goes home.
I can see that. That's great.
Yeah, but I've heard
Joe
tons of
Pepitone
guys.
said it was the most beautiful swing he had ever seen. It was nowhere near the baseball.
Oh my god.
I'm going to go back. Actually, I'm going to go back. Where were you when you got drafted by the Royals?
I was at Severian High School. We went to Severian.
In Severian?
We were in Coach Canelli's office, and we're trying to get it going on this garbage computer that he had in his office. And back then, this was like the first or second time they broadcasted it on the internet, you know. And it's like
It's not like the NFL, like where they call you on the phone.
Yeah, it is.
But this was DSL.
But we're trying to listen to it live, so we're not with the internet system that we had set up there. We were not locked in. Chris Garcia, he had a better feed than us. He was listening real time, and
when did he get drafted?
He was the 21st round that year.
And what were you?
4th round.
You know what the problem with the connection was, right? Mr. Flood, being the little fucking rat that he was chewing the motorcycles.
Oh my god. But and then Chris called me. He goes, fourth round, and I thought he was talking about him. And I'm like, "You got drafted in the 4th round?" And he goes, "No, you got drafted in the 4th round, Kansas City Royals." And then as he's telling me that, I get a phone call from a crazy phone number that I never seen before, and it's the scout Steve Connolly, and he's like, "Danny, you know, we got you, man. Congratulations, 4th round, you know, and I'll give you a call back, and you know, we'll let you know what's up." And basically, we all just start hugging and high-fiving and.
Now, like, were you, like, pre to the draft, were you, like, set on a team?
No, I mean...
Or you just were like, I don't care. I get drafted, I get drafted.
As I growing up...
Because I hear people, like, like, I only want to be with this fucking team. You know what I mean?
So growing up, I'm a Yankee fan. Obviously diehard. I would love to. I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know how the minor leagues worked. I didn't know that you want to be drafted by the worst team in the league. You know what I mean?
That's your goal?
No, I mean at the end of the day, that's what you want.
A smart goal.
Yeah, because you don't want to be drafted by the best team. Like where do you go in the Houston Astros organization? When you're a left-handed starting pitcher,
you're not
like,
getting.
You gotta
in
hope
there.
this guy gets traded this week. Like everyone, all the lefties in that whole organization, like please.
Tommy
trade
John,
this guy.
please.
Yeah.
Fucking 3 guys, Tommy John. Let's go before.
So when you go to the cellar dwellers like the Royals were, they gave me all the opportunity in the world.
Who is would you say, your best coach?
Let's see.
In the professional level.
My last year, Phil Plantier was awesome manager.
Bill, what do you got to say?
Bill, you okay?
I'm not interested in. I don't like when you specify that. So maybe he had a really good coach somewhere else in his life. That we'd like to hear about.
You want to go?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it is Bill Plantier. Who the fuck knows?
Bill, that's fair enough. I agree.
Yeah, whatever. This guy sells peanuts. Who gives a shit?
I agree with you, Bill. I'm gonna restate this question. Who is your best coach in all of your baseball career?
We're going to edit that last part out, guys.
Who's your best coach in all of your baseball career?
All right, so we had this guy with Al Masters that used to help out with the book. He would stand down by first base a lot, too. This kid, Billy Masiello, was just an amazing bench coach / player. He would come in and slash one over the shortstop second baseman's head.
Yeah, until we played the Brewers and they put 9 guys standing in between first and second base.
Oh, the Brewers.
But when it came to pro ball, I had some guys. I had Tom Berkmeyer as a pitching coach who played like 16 years in the major leagues with like a 3 ERA. He was a nut. And then I had Joe Zeckley who played a little bit. I played for Tommy John. Tommy John was my manager.
Wow, shit.
I had Tommy John surgery, and
Did you have Tommy John surgery?
I did have Tommy John surgery.
Now, let me ask you, with Tommy John surgery, what's the deal with that? Like, I feel like, and I'm sure Dougal and Billy could, as our view, not being at a professional level, you just come back throwing harder. Is that true?
Most guys do.
No.
Yeah,
but it's not an automatic thing, man.
It's like
not
99% come through back harder.
It's not like playing operation. Like you pick up the bone, you put it on the other arm, bam, you throw 100.
Actually, it is.
It can't be.
It's like you don't hurt. You're not hurting anymore. Usually you're hurting for a while before, and you're a little tender, and you hold back maybe a little bit. But now you're not hurting anymore after that. It doesn't hurt.
You're
good.
I remember I had laser surgery. Yeah, Danny, Billy, what's up?
I have a question for you, Dan. At what point in the day do you know whether you have it or don't have it on the mound?
When you get out there.
In warm-ups?
It's when you get out there and things it starts going for you. Because in the bullpen, I've had horrible bullpen sessions, and then you go out there and you're just spotting up because you get the nerves pass through and the butterflies are gone. And every time I started, you had a little nerves before the game, like you just want to go out there and dominate. So, but yeah, I had games where I didn't get out of the first inning, and I felt great that day, but I couldn't get the ball to the catcher. I just get knocked all over the place and walking people out. But yeah.
How much of that is mental after you realize the fastball's not on?
All of it's mental. You have
because physically you're still the same guy.
Yeah, and as long as you're not hurt, you know what I mean. But so as long as you're healthy and you're not hurt, it's all about the mental aspect of the game and just being able to slow things down and figure out what you're doing. Go through the game plan that you just spoke about for an hour and a half. Would you like to plug
your good friend Chris Garcia, who you mentioned a couple times?
He's also
on the Facebook.
Definitely check out Christerical IG. He's got some funny stuff, man. He does the rapping stuff. He does all the messing with the public and all that stuff. He's great. It's pretty friggin' hilarious. You gotta check him out. Christerical IG. Christerical, yes, on all platforms. Mostly Instagram. I would definitely check him out on Instagram. That's where most of his stuff goes right away.
I got a question.
You guys hear that?
Yes, we got in there. I got a question for Danny. Biggest piece of shit you dealt with in the minor leagues? Let's say, whether he's a major leaguer now, but I understand there's some people that are just fucking dicks, where they think their shit don't stink.
Ambiorix Burgos. This guy he made it to the major leagues. He was from the Dominican Republic. He threw 100 miles an hour, and he threw 100 miles an hour at everybody, no matter what you were doing. If you were covering first base during PFPs, he threw 100 miles an hour at you. He thought it was hilarious. The Dominican guys didn't like him. No, it was just one of those guys. Like when you're running polls, he would walk them. You know,
He's a jerk.
I think he's in jail right now for murder.
It's Manny Machado. It's Manny Machado.
I had a fist fight with him actually in the minor
Did you?
leagues in the dugout. I mean, in the locker room after
Wow.
in instructional league. This is instructional league is what they do. They bring their prospects at the end of the year. They bring their top prospects into the organization and they make kind of like one big team, maybe 30, 35 guys, and it's like an extended. It's like another spring training at the end of the year, you know, during like when the Arizona Fall League is going on. They have an instructional league going on, and it's just to get extra work with their prospects, you know. So you're not home fucking around. It's a couple months. It's another month or so, whatever it is, month and a half. But we're at instructional league. He's on the bucket. And the bucket, I don't know if you're not familiar, the bucket is a little bit in the outfield grass behind second base, and when during batting practice, everyone hits the balls, you throw the balls back into the bucket there. He brings the bucket to the pitching coaches to the coaches throwing BP. So
He's the shine boy.
yeah, so he just if you pitch the day before in the game, you're on the bucket the next day because they don't want you throwing balls in from the outfield from the wall, 100 balls. So he's on the bucket. And balls are starting to get in short, and guys are getting upset, you know, because the balls are spread out now, and the buckets, he's bringing half full buckets to the pitching coach, and everyone's getting upset, like, you guys gotta stop being dicks, you know? And for some reason, he locked in on me out of all this. Like, I might have threw one ball short, and he just locked in on me. He's like, I'm fucking getting that motherfucker after the game, after practice. Last swing of BP, boom. I pick up a couple balls there in the corner, I throw them to the screen, I come right around the corner into the locker room. By the time he gets into the locker room now, I'm in my sliding shorts, flip flops, no shirt, nothing. I'm about to get butt naked to get in the shower and go back to the hotel. And he comes up to me with a brand new baseball. Now in the minor leagues, you get a brand new baseball. I don't know where he found the brand new baseball. He was gonna throw this ball at me in the locker room.
At you?
At me. He was gonna.
He was like, he throws 100.
He was. You want to talk a shit? You want to talk a shit? And I was like, oh, he's gonna throw that shit at me. I cannot let him hit me with that. He's gonna hit me. He got aim. He's gonna hit me with this ball. It's gonna break everything it hits. So I kind of closed the gap a little bit, and I gave him like a little quick right jab to the right cheek, and I got on his left cheek, I should say. I landed it right on his cheek, and then he just kind of tossed me around in a wrestling match because he was huge. He was like 6'5", 250 pounds solid, and he tossed me around in the locker room in a wrestling match, and everyone was fucking happy and broke it up, and no one knew. It happened right outside the coach's office. No one knew about it. And guys now we go to the lunchroom, and guys are talking about it at the lunchroom. They're like, did you fucking see DC and Burgos fucking go? They used to call me Brooklyn. They said, did you see Brooklyn and Burgos going at it in the locker room? And the strength coach, he's like, what? What? He put his food down on the table, and he went straight to the coach's office and was like, da-da! He started snitching on us. And we got in trouble. Like, I had to clean the coach's shoes for a couple days, and he had to scrub out the nasty hot tub in the Major League clubhouse, which was all gunked up, you know. And
You think guys are jerking off in there?
but like Dominican, yeah, I guess, man. Who knows what the hell they would? No, because you get like all this different, you know, the different like lotions and creams and all weird shit. Like if you get like if you get an ultrasound, they put the KY on you for the ultrasounds. But
yeah, you call it whatever you want.
I got a couple fist bumps from some Dominican coaches that were like, "Yo, good shit,
for
bro."
standing up.
Yeah, this fucking guy's an asshole.
Let me ask you: did being from Brooklyn?
Doritos? What's going on there?
I didn't know we had real sound effects here.
We got everything here. Bro.
High quality production.
This is big production.
Yeah.
Did being from
He's got a
Brooklyn?
soundboard. I didn't know.
Hold on a second. Do you ever notice how loud Doritos are when you're trying to watch a movie by yourself?
Mad loud. Doritos are ridiculous. But
Especially when you don't want to share them and you're trying to open them a little quiet.
You got the kids sleeping on the couch next to you. You don't want them waking up looking for Cheetos. They're fucking... now you got the TV on 57. You can't even chew on your Dorito. You're sucking them until they get soft.
Oh, my God.
You have to eat Dorito late at night when kids are sleeping.
Doritos they really are loud. You're 100% right with that. Sometimes I think I shouldn't chew them.
Like if you're in a backyard at a barbecue and you're eating Doritos, no big deal.
No big deal.
Yes, correct.
You won't hear that Dorito. It almost doesn't even exist. If there's a lot of people around that can't hear the Dorito, did you really eat it?
Sorry, we got some.
Stop with the Dorito.
We have
You
our
guys are
secretaries here.
Danny here.
Yeah, we're here. We had our secretary step in for a quick question. We need some paperwork.
Nah, Bill, you're 100% right with the Doritos. They're fucking ridiculously loud. And you know what the crazy thing? You don't realize it till you chew them in silence. Like you said, you don't realize it.
Yeah,
We have a
it's a
question
serious
from
problem.
a caller. A call in from a caller.
No, for us, for the three hosts today. Do you have any questions for us?
Oh, wow. I didn't come prepared actually with any questions for you guys.
All right, that's fine. Did David Dougal, did you guys go and set yourself up a couple rapid fire questions for Dan?
Yeah, I got a rapid fire. Yeah, I got a rapid fire over here. Danny.
Yeah.
You said earlier in the show, you pitched for Tommy John, and he was a coach. How was he? Was he cool or was he a dick?
No, he was awesome, man. Tommy John, coolest dude ever. He had a hard time staying awake during the games. He would fall asleep in the dugout in the middle of the games. But he was the manager. He wasn't the pitching coach. The pitching coach was this Asian guy. I forget his name. He didn't play baseball. He was our pitching coach. He read books about pitching.
What
right?
level?
This guy invented the green screen. Yes, he told me. He goes. I remember I met. I forget who it was. He goes, I've never met a Hall of Famer before. And then he looked at me and said, I've never met anyone who won an Academy Award before, or something like that. He won an Academy Award for inventing the green screen. He did. This guy, the pitching coach. If you look up who the pitching coach was of the 2009 Bridgeport Bluefish.
I'm gonna look it up. Keep talking. I'm gonna look it up.
Tommy Ing.
Tommy Ing.
Oh, it's at Nagasaki.
Yo, but Dave,
Do we know what Tommy Ing is? That what the...
He just
Dave, by your logic,
Royals.
Tommy Ing is a horrendous pitching coach.
Bridgeport
Worst
Bluefish.
of the worst.
No, the guy actually had great points.
No, Dave said he has to suck because he never did it. That's what he said.
Yeah,
you
you're
said
going
the
to
same
Mike
thing about Mike
Princess.
before.
You're
Said
going to
Mike
Mike
never played
Princess.
sports.
Shut the fuck up.
He was not gonna analyze you as you're in the game and be like, this is why your ball's high. This is why this. He might throw some things that he read in the book at you, like this might be why your ball's high, or this is why
mechanics.
Right, exactly.
But that's important too.
He's invented.
That's important too. A guy who can analyze film like later on down the road and look at it and say, this is happening or that's happening. You seem to be pulling off.
No, it's
leaning to the
You got to put
You
Bridgeport.
don't have to play the sport to be able to contribute and contribute to a player's success and
Bridgeport Bluefish.
productivity.
It's not. It's an independent.
I understand, but you gotta understand. I can't respect a guy who's never done it.
Dan.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite wrestler growing up? You can't use Hulk Hogan.
Favorite wrestler growing up, hands down, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Were you crushed with the Shawn Michaels move on him in Canada?
With the doctors?
What is it
I thought
called,
you were
Billy?
talking about the Janetti.
No,
talking
no.
about the Montreal screw job.
Yes, the Montreal screw job. You don't know about
I
that?
don't know about this.
He shouldn't be Danny shouldn't be heartbroken because Shawn Michaels stole the belt from Bret Hart. So Danny would be excited about that.
This is a debate you got going on right now.
My new favorite wrestler though is Kevin Michaels. Kevin Matthews.
Kevin Matthews.
Oh
baby.
my God, how awesome! What an
Kevin
awesome career
Matthews,
that dude had, man.
We should get Kevin Matthews on here.
I've only been to one ever wrestling event, live wrestling event, and Kevin went with me. He took us there. I remember my dad. We went and picked him up and we saw a tag team belt change at a non-televised event in Madison Square Garden with Kevin Matthews.
Wow.
But that was
And
when
Madison
he was.
Square
And that was
Garden?
when he was 6'4", 100 pounds. Now the kid's a freaking monster.
Me and Billy, we went together, right?
Yeah, I've gone to see him like 3 times, but I went once with you with the kids.
We
had
went
a
with the
great
kids.
time.
We saw him at St. Patrick's, and he was
I always want to do that. I'm always working because I work the overnights.
overnights. Yeah,
I'm always working when he comes in.
it's cool that he does it. He did good. He came up and gave us a shout and everything.
That's awesome.
It was cool. We had signs and everything. It was really cool.
Biggie or Tupac?
What, Bill?
Biggie or Tupac, Dan?
Biggie or Tupac? Biggie. 100%.
Biggie.
Yeah.
Okay. I just got one more rapid fire question.
Yeah.
Dougal, what's that money transferring app that we use? Our
That's
sponsor?
the Cash App. One of our sponsors, the Cash App.
Tell us a little bit about Cash App.
Cash App, the #1 app in finance. Do the most with your money. Get the Cash App. Download it from any platform. Cash App.
Dan, do you have Cash App?
I don't have Cash App, but I'm gonna download it today. Now that I know it's an official sponsor of the show.
Yeah, and here's a plus for that. Dan, how many push-ups do you think you could do right now?
Right now, I could probably do 10. I don't think I can do. I'm straight dad bod right now. I'm a former athlete. Former athlete. There's no athlete left in me. I couldn't even. Go ahead.
I'm gonna offer you on Cash App $1 for every push-up over 10 that you can do right now.
Oh my God.
Do you want to do it?
I actually don't want to do it.
He does not want to take it off.
You got
And the great thing about
I'm not
great
trying
thing
to
about
hurt
Cash
myself
App,
for a
man,
few bucks. $3-4.
The great thing about the app is that you can get the money right away. You know, if you do a certain amount of push-ups, the money gets sent to you right away. That's the great thing about Cash App. That's why we all use
I
it.
can send $1, no fee. As you're doing the push-ups, I'm sending $1 at a time.
Wow.
Totally separate transactions, no fee, right into the bank account.
Is that,
No middleman.
is
It's
that
that
over the
simple.
iOS and Android? iOS and
iOS
OS?
Yes.
and
Great.
Absolutely.
Great. I'm
Hey,
gonna look that up.
Google Pixel, whatever you got. Hey, Dave, how many push-ups can you do right now?
Consecutively about 30.
He's dad bonded too, though, and I noticed that. Just took a look.
Everyone over 30, you pay me $1 on Cash App. Ready? Go ahead.
Anyone over?
You pay me.
Go ahead, Dan. You count.
Oh man.
I actually, before we go or anything like that, I got a question for Danny. Let me ask you, our Masters, right? Who would you say our enemy was? Or our rival team?
It was that black and white team, right? That Brooklyn team. And then
Yeah,
there was the we also stole that pitcher towards the end there, John, the Brewers.
Brewers, correct. Billy, would you agree with our enemies, Brewers?
No, I think Brooklyn was our enemy because the only team we really couldn't beat in the playoffs. We beat everyone else at some point.
Did we ever beat the... Listen.
We did make the Brewers leave the league.
Do you want to make me put this on the spot? Do we ever beat the Brewers? Ever. As our Masters? Ever.
I'm pretty sure they left the league. So they didn't have to
Zero
deal with us.
times we've beaten the Brewers.
Wow.
Billy, have we ever beat the Brewers?
I don't know. Listen, I really know what was going on at all. Remember, I had like a whole bunch of really good ball players, and then me. I was like, my shirt didn't fit. I was wearing like thermals under my shorts.
Billy, I'm going to be honest with
you.
you.
Go stand over there for a little while.
You don't realize it, how valuable, whether it's soft or whatever, how valuable a player you were. Because you understood your role. Whatever it was, you came out. Yo, Bill, you're coaching first base. I need you to get a hit right now. Bill gets in there, gets a hit.
Right over the second baseman's head.
Right over the second baseman's head. That's what you do. You will never understand it. You will never understand the value of that, no matter what you joke about it or anything like. I will never put anything past you. I love abusing you. I love it. It's like my fucking favorite thing to do.
I actually, after our Masters kind of broke up, I started playing with some other teams.
Hold on, Bill. Before you go into that, I just want to bring something up. I'm leaning towards it. All right. So our worst enemy was the Brewers. Dougal, you were there when we played the Brewers, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to put out here, how does everybody on this podcast right now feel about two players going and playing with that team, wearing their jersey, playing with them in the tournament, and not only that, hanging a picture in their house of them with that team? Let me...
I could... All right, that's fine, and I can speak about that only on one level, okay? And it's just going to be strictly from a fandom level and a athletic level and a competitive level. As you guys well know, and the podcast is about to find out, I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, as a Boston Red Sox fan. Not a very easy thing to do.
Idiot.
Okay. I watched Roger Clemens go from the Boston Red Sox and play for the New York Yankees. I watched Johnny Damon, the same thing. And then I watched Wade Boggs ride around Yankee Stadium on a horse. Okay?
Jacoby Ellsbury.
Fuck him.
That guy's Native American, man. That's fucked up.
Around Yankee Stadium. I don't even know what that has to do with anything. But that I'm talking about some fucking clowns playing in a men's Sunday afternoon softball game. I'm talking about Wade fucking Boggs on
Best two-strike hitter in the history of baseball.
Okay? He also pitched that season. They let him
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Fame.
Oh my god.
Bill, remember when you wore a suit to that softball game that time? As a starting catcher?
I probably should have worn a suit every game. Because the only ever hit I liked, I was wearing a three-piece, double-breasted suit.
Hold on. Double-breasted triple XL, am I right?
No,
Yeah, you were hot that game, too. You were on fire that game.
It was kind of small on me. It was somebody else's 7th grade convocation suit that I was wearing at 21 years old.
You slid,
worked out,
bro.
though.
There was no play at the plate. You hit that ball in the gap, and you slid it home in this suit, bro. I'll tell you, I forget who was umping that game. They loved that.
I think it was Mousy. That had never been done before. That's unprecedented.
Listen, that was the rise of the legend of Billy Masiello in Brooklyn Rec League sports. That's where it all started. It continued down the line with other outrageous events, but that was a big moment for me. Okay? So let's not joke about it.
Oh, I remember that. That was big. That was awesome. I remember
That was awesome.
yesterday.
Yeah, you did great with that, Bill. I'm proud of you for that. Bro, Bill, do you remember when you humped the top of the backstop at my game?
Oh.
No, I used to do some shit, man. I was fucked up.
Bill, think about this. The ball, it was a foul ball. It got stuck at Bay 8th Street on the field on the left against Telecommunications. I'll never forget this. And I was pitching, and the ball got stuck up. And they were like throwing their glove up, and you jumped up. You climbed up the whole fucking backstop, and you started humping the backstop.
To get the ball out?
To get the ball out. Like there was a bar coming up, and you were fucking ripping it.
Oh my god.
Well, that's because, see, here's the thing. My whole life, I've only been good at 3 things, and they all start with an F. And that's fighting, football, and the way I got that baseball down was fucking. I fucked the ball. Those are the 3 Fs for me.
Oh my god.
Very humble, Bill. Very humble. Remember, speaking of Bay 8th Street, remember when we were like 17, 18, your mom gave you that king-size mattress to get rid of? She's like, get rid of it. So we went inside your minivan and we dumped it like off the side of the Bell Parkway. Remember? Like some empty ass field. Remember that shit?
Yeah, dude. Remember the time we drove upstate? We were smoking mad bogues in the car because we didn't want to open the window. And then we got upstate, and there was like some kid with a BB gun, and people were throwing beers through the windows. That was a really weird fucking night. I think that was your fault, Dave.
My fault?
Yeah.
What did I do with
That
that?
had something to do with you.
No.
I don't know. That definitely had something to do with you.
Zero to
Thomas
do with me.
Dubrin. Man.
That was Rory.
Yeah,
That was Rory.
To pay
It
a
wasn't
parking
me.
ticket. Billy went to pay
Shout
a
out to
parking
Russo.
ticket.
Shout out to
In
Russo.
Albany. He's sitting there in his little ass courtroom, waiting to pay the parking ticket in a suit again, sticking with the suit, storyline. He's sitting there.
Catskill showed up in a 3-piece suit.
He's sitting there. This guy in an orange jumpsuit who's cuffed in his hands and legs. There for murder. He's sitting directly right next to him because his name is next in the docket. The judge calls him up. He's like, "Look, you could have just sent in the ticket through the mail, man."
Who's that, Thomas Dubrin?
Oh, me.
Oh, you, Billy? You?
Yeah, absolutely.
The other guy got taken away, like the back room and shit.
Yo, Dan, you ever been arrested, Dan?
Never been arrested, no.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, man. Always stay out of trouble, man.
Actually, let me ask Dan, what was your signing bonus?
My sign was $300,000.
What did that go towards?
What did that go towards? Just living,
An Impala.
basically. An Impala. Did buy the Impala. Remember that? Yeah, I did have the Impala for a little bit.
Yeah.
I heard you had an Impala.
But when you're playing,
Thing on the back.
like, now, when I was in the minor leagues that year, I still had to get an apartment wherever I lived and all that.
Real quick, so you get so what's your bonus? What's the bonus?
The
again?
bonus, it was $300,000.
So
right?
300,000 plus contract.
Plus whatever you make that year in the minor leagues, which is like $850 a month.
So you
Right,
need
but
that
After
300,000.
Yeah,
that 300, though, what are you seeing after taxes? You seeing 195?
I think it was
Right?
so they broke it down into two paychecks basically. So I got one August 20 something that in 2002, and then I got one January 15th of 2003. You know, so it was two tax years, but they took $44,000 of each one. You know.
Woof.
Yeah.
That fucks you. Yeah, it really
you,
fucks you.
no dependents and all that stuff, and you're single.
$88,000.
Professional athlete tax and shit like that.
I went through the same thing. Like my parents passed. I
Yeah, but
inherited
you got your $300,000 bonus.
What?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I inherited money, and I inherited the beginning of the year. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna hang out and not pay this tax.
Yeah.
They don't accept that.
No, yeah.
The IRS don't accept.
They'll start taking your paychecks.
Yeah, they crush you. They really, the interest is no joke on that shit. So you end up
Less
walking.
than a credit,
Bill, what'd you say?
less than a credit card, though.
What'd you say?
It's less than a credit card.
Don't get me started on credit cards.
Credit cards are a fucking scam, bro. There's no
Oh,
there.
fantastic.
When that Cash App check comes in for you guys, you should probably pick up a mic for Billy, an upgraded one maybe.
I'm out in the woods. I'm out in the woods now. I needed a cigarette. I left the studio. I'm in the woods.
Yeah, Billy. Hold on,
why.
Billy. You gotta explain to Danny. He doesn't understand where you are right now. Explain to him.
I'm in the woods. I'm staring at 2 deer.
Like
right
you got
now.
you got an outhouse?
Face to face.
Why? Where do you live?
No, I just pee in the rocks. I don't need an outhouse. I just pee in the rocks on the side of my house.
Oh my god.
So,
Don't worry, the security camera I have, it's actually a fake security camera. I don't know why I purchased a fake security camera and mounted it to the outside of my wall, but it's there, scaring all the criminals away. And I stole somebody's ADT sign. Nobody's breaking into my house.
No, you're good. They don't want to take that chance, you know?
Sloman shields your home. They do it free. And you get it. That's actually all you get for free is the Sloman shield sign.
Right.
that's it. Everything else you're paying for.
That's it.
Yeah. Like, we'll give you a
That's all
free
really
we'll give you a free updated system if you sign up for 20 years.
But you know what? That's all you really need. Because think about it from a burglar's point of view. You're walking down the neighborhood. You're scoping out a spot. You see a Sloman shield thing. You say, "Did he pay for the service?" I'm going to go get Edna next door, who definitely doesn't have the Sloman shield.
Right.
I'm going to steal her purse.
Is
I'm gonna
Edna
put it down.
is Edna really your neighbor?
No, I got no Edna's here.
She used to be back in the day, right? Remember that?
No, Edna's a
73?
she's a
Oh.
family member, not a neighbor. She lives close by, though. But I wouldn't call her a neighbor. I wouldn't even call you my neighbor, Dougal. You were not my neighbor.
He was your neighbor.
Would
He was
you be
two
my
fucking-
neighbor?
He was
No,
two
my
houses
neighbor
down.
next door to me is my neighbor.
Oh God, he's such a prick.
Hey, it bees like that sometimes, homie. All right, with that, I'm done. I'm done with the podcast for tonight.
We got anything else for Danny while we're here?
Did you think of any questions?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't have any questions for you guys.
All right. Well, everybody, be sure to stop by next week with Danny, Billy, and Dougal, and we're gonna have another special guest from Dick.
You're a dick.
Oh man.
All right,
I live.
all right, that's it. That's all. Hold on. Actually, before you had Tommy John surgery?
I did have time, 2004.
2004. You had. So did you come back throwing harder?
I came back throwing just basically the same. It didn't hurt anymore. That was a plus, because I was hurting for a year or so before I finally freaking blew out.
Do you think your pain was from curveballs? Because I know that's a whole theory nowadays.
Right.
And me particularly, I don't believe it. I don't think it was.
I don't, I blew out throwing a fastball when it finally popped on me.
It just ripped?
It was a fastball, yeah. And I tried to throw a couple more pitches after that, and it was not happening at all. But
And that was in the minor leagues?
that was in the minor leagues. That would have been if I went to college. Back to that question, that would have been my junior year in college. I probably would have never been drafted.
So you would have probably never got drafted. You probably got fucking released from your fucking scholarship.
Right.
So it's probably a better idea you didn't get drafted.
That I went. Yeah.
Now, how many colleges did? Hello. Hello. Hello.
I think we got a caller.
I don't know what happened there, but I'm recording anyway. How many colleges recruited you prior to being drafted?
Lots, man. There's lots of them.
The top notch.
Yeah, every single. I wanted to go to Miami. That's where I wanted to go, and I just couldn't commit to the 3 years, And Miami was like, "Come on, yo!" They called me like the 2 days before the SAT, and they were like, "Did you study and shit?" And like, "Oh, we need you."
What'd
to
you get in the SATs?
I got like a 940 or something like that. That was horrible.
No, it's good enough to go, right?
Yeah, they called me and they were like, "Get an 830. If you get an 830, we can give you
Better.
money." It was horrible, yeah. So I got a 940 using Abacadabra on the test.
Yeah, I tell you, when I took my SATs, I went there. Frankie Maynard was in my classroom. You could ask him, vouch for this. I went there, and I had taken my English Regents prior, and I was like, yo, I got wrecked the night before my English Regents. And I got like an 89. I was like, bro, this is the way you do it. You get wrecked. So I go out the night before my SATs. I'm like, I straight got wrecked till 6 a.m. Went straight to the fucking SATs. I get there, and I fill out the thing, and the guy's like, I'm done. He's like, bro, we haven't even got to the verbal part of this. I'm like, bro, I'm done. I'm over. It's over. He's like, you got to stay here for at least whatever it was, an hour and a half, 2 hours. I was like, all right. Boom. Pass it. I got 960 on my SATs.
Bang it out in half an hour.
And then the crazy thing, people don't believe that, but you ask Frank, he was in my classroom, and I was yelling with the guy. I was like, bro, I'm done. I want to get out of here. I just filled in everything. I'm done. He's like, no, you can't leave until a certain point. And I was like, all right, whatever. And I ended up getting 960 or whatever it is. All right, let's end this here.